AJ 1992, how big of a threat is Lightning fee siphoning? So he says, hey guys, I just became aware of Lightning fee siphoning and the issues it caused in the past on major Lightning enabled platforms. If you aren't aware of what this is, you can learn about it and see how much damage his test runs did on these platforms. This links out to another post, lightningnetwork.plus. Okay, let's open that. And then he drops some questions for discussion. So I have a general idea of how this attack, I guess, works, but let's see what this piece says. Oh, this is a lot. Okay, cheap but not free, simple attack. Okay, simple. So deposit funds into a custodial service, then withdraw the funds. Done. Congrats for your profit. You place a node in the middle while the sending node. Okay, this is a very wordy way of basically saying, so what you want to do is you withdraw into a custodial service, like this is saying, and you want to have a Lightning node running yourself. And so you want to make sure that your node is in the middle, is in the route back to yourself. So it actually doesn't have to be like the end of the route. You just need to make sure that your node is in the middle. But the easiest way to do this is just to have a direct channel. And ideally a direct channel from a node that this is the only channel that the custodial service could send your payment to. Okay, so you're isolating where the payment is going to be withdrawn from. And then on that channel you just crank up the fees to an insane amount. And you collect the profit that way because you're the node runner. So that's my understanding of the attack. Okay, well, I forgot to mention we also need to place a node that will be routing the payments between the custodial service and the receiving node. The routing node will collect a fee. Hopefully the fee will be big enough so there's a net profit. So i.e. withdrawal fee plus deposit fee. Yeah, so there's some calculation you need to do with the exchange or whatever. If a positive net return is possible, then it is just a matter of optimizing the size of the fee collected and the transaction speed rate to see how big the damage could be. It's easy to see how this attack must be feasible on any service with free withdrawal fee. Yeah. So how do you place a node in the middle? That is a good question. Well, the sending node is in charge of selecting the route. A priori, it seems unlikely that the sender will select a very expensive route. However, there is a case when the sender will certainly have to send the payment, that's a typo, through our routing node. We will connect our receiving node to the Lightning Network only with a single channel to our routing node. Therefore, payments, if they arrive at all, must be relayed by ourselves. Okay, so exactly like I was saying. And so, yeah, I guess, so I'm not sure what the fee limits are on channels. Like, is there a max fee limit on, is there a max fee limit for relaying transactions through a channel on the Lightning Network? Because I'm wondering, like, I know that probably the way to do this is with multiple. You kind of try it out once, you see if you make a small profit, and you keep doing it continually. Hopefully, I mean, ideally without being noticed. While there is no hard-coded maximum fee limit enforced by the protocol, the market itself, comprised of all the participants in the Lightning Network, effectively regulates the fees. Okay, yeah, so there's a free market of fees, but of course, if my node only has one channel, there's no freak market for fees. I have the monopoly on the ability for you to send to me and how much that's going to cost, and if the service isn't checking it. And so Keon is the one that originally told me about this attack. I don't know if I'm wrong. I think maybe people tried to do this on Stacker News in the early days. Wait, what? Oh. He just yelled over. He knew about it. Okay, so this didn't happen to Stacker News. Yeah, you actually notice if you go to withdraw, you pay for the fees and you set the max fee limit, which I think is it's a pretty good UX. Like, ideally, you wouldn't want your users to have to worry about that, but if you're already providing a wallet, like having them pay and consider that overhead. I don't think that's too much. And so, okay, so we know what that attack is. So questions for discussion: how big of a threat does it still pose to the implementation and sustainability of the Lightning Network? Well, we kind of answered this already. Not much at all. Does this have potential to threaten any major Lightning-enabled platforms anymore? Definitely. How can this threat be completely eradicated by Lightning developers? Is that even possible? Kind of discuss that as well. So yeah, by forcing the user to pay the fee, that seems to solve it. I don't know if there's some other... yeah, I mean, if you just make your user pay the fee every time, you don't have to worry about this straight up. So does this have the potential to threaten any major Lightning-enabled platforms anymore? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what Lightning platforms I actually use that are custodial and I withdraw from them. So Cash App is definitely one. And Cash App has free Lightning withdrawals as well, up to a certain limit. So yeah, I wonder if people are trying to do this with the Cash App, but I'm trying to think of Cash App's Lightning network setup. They're probably running a bunch of nodes. I wonder if we can see, is there a Cash App node on public Lightning network? Cash App. I don't see it. Is it block? Block tank, block. There's block everything. So not sure, but yeah, I wonder if you could do this with Cash App. I mean, really, you would just need to have a channel open to them, but maybe they might have a private node. They might also use... No, I don't think they use an LSP. I think they have their Lightning integration in-house. But anyway, we could speculate about that. But I feel like with as big of a target as they are, this might have happened to them already. But I don't know how many users actually use Lightning on Cash App that aren't already kind of Lightning users like myself. I mean, it's not exactly pushed to the surface in the UI. Even the Bitcoin tab is kind of tucked away now. It's not even a tab. But yeah, like maybe a Cash App somewhere where you have free Lightning withdrawals. If you can ensure that you are the one route. And really the best way to do that is to have this single channel and receive to your own node. So I bet for the Cash App, I bet you could just open a channel to like an async or something like that. Let's see, so you open a channel, but then you need inbound. So maybe you keep your fees low. Yeah. Okay, so there is a bit of setup here. You would need a bigger node that is likely to route your payment to open a channel to you. So obviously there's services. So let's say maybe we did a voltage. We could do like a voltage flow, and we could pay for an inbound channel from voltage. And then we just generate invoices from our node, and we keep withdrawing our daily limits every day from Cash App. That's an idea. I don't endorse this idea, by the way. I'm just saying, I guess this is how you could do this to a current Lightning platform. But I mean, this just speaks to like the overhead of being custodial at all. The overhead of running a custodial Lightning node. It's, you know, as people started to tell me about their experiences around here, I definitely got more of a healthy fear of it. And with the projects I build, I mean, unless they're just example projects, I really am trying to stay non-custodial as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, losing other people's money, losing your own money. Okay, let's dive into some of the comments here. So how big of a threat does it still pose? None. That's relieving for real. However, Sats for Likes has been a recent victim of this scam. Sats for Likes. This is like Sats for Likes. Maybe they're down right. Oh, okay. I see. So these are just like, okay, it's just a service to pay a bot to like your tweet. That's kind of cool. But I guess they have a custodial wallet in here. That interesting. They don't elaborate here. Make people pay for their own withdrawal fees. Yeah. Okay, so a quote here, I think this is from the article. The fee charged by OKX seems to be strictly equal or higher than the cost to route the payment. There's no way one could make a net profit from OKX using this attack. What is it? Is strictly equal or higher than the cost to route a payment. Okay, so are they maybe estimating the route or the fee of the route? So I know that you can, I have the L&D API open right here. Let's see. With L&D, can I estimate what my payment route? Yeah, seems like they're estimating, maybe, which seems maybe a little bit like an inferior approach, but seemingly better on the user experience side. This seems to be a viable solution as noted in the post. So if services offering LN withdrawals adhere to this, then they're fine. Okay. You can both estimate your payment route and the associated fees before actually sending a payment. Okay, that's what I thought. So query routes. Looks like query routes. Let's see if ChatGPT is hallucinating. Query routes. Attempts to query the daemon's channel router for a possible route to a target destination capable of carrying specific amounts of satoshis. Okay. Do we have routes? Routes is an array. What does that include? An array of route, which is, where is this? Okay, total fees. So that's pretty easy. You just hit this method with the destination. So, I mean, yeah, that seems good. I guess like if you don't want to let your, or don't want to make your users pay for fees. Yeah, stats for like getting victimized by this recently in numerous attacks. Rough. If major nodes and platforms are susceptible to having their liquidity drained, that undermines trust and reliability of the whole system. Users need to have confidence that their funds are safe and that transactions will be processed as expected. The fact that it was possible at all suggests there may be other vulnerabilities yet to be discovered. I don't know. That's kind of like an overly general statement. Like, yeah, there's probably other kinds of niche attacks that we can find, but I think that this one actually isn't that exciting. Pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to avoid, but really it's that unknown. And I wouldn't have known about this if I hadn't heard about it from someone else, right? So anyone can kind of naively not realize these small attacks and set up some kind of service and become victim to them. So, okay, so that's our first story.